I'm from a small town. I didn't go to I went to the city school until I was in 3rd grade. Then I went to the suburban country school who played schools just like yours, Danville. We went and played Fredericktown. I'm from Marlington, which is in Alliance, Ohio. You've heard of Mount Union, that's where I'm from. But I was a varsity basketball player, only African American on my team. Everybody else was Caucasian. The conference we played in is pretty much like the conferences you guys are a part of. East Knox, Danville, all those guys. I'm in a town called Carrollton. I was a pretty good basketball player at the time, but we were beating them pretty bad. So I'm taking the ball out of bounds, and my back is to the student section. Well, here comes the chant of nigger from the stands. Now, my family isn't there because it was a far drive at the time, and my mom had 15 kids in the house and couldn't get them all there. Only my dad drove, and he worked second shift. So I had no support in the stands, but here I hear a chant of nigger, nigger coming from the student section. I feel all alone. I feel like, what's about to happen in here? My coach, thank God for him, he actually was more upset than I was. I was just getting angry, wanting to beat the team down and win and get out of there. But my coach pulled us all off the floor, took the team in the locker room. He lectured us about that was wrong. He's tearing up the locker room. He goes and talks to the refs and the other coach. They basically called the game, and we sent the tape into the state. That school got some kind of fine because of the student section's actions. We didn't finish the game, but it became a bigger ordeal than I thought it was going to be, just because I was getting some racial comments from the stands, and it could have got pretty hostile. We got out of there safely, but it was pretty intense for a little while, just because of what the student section was doing.
I'll just add in that, similar to what Joseph said earlier, and what Travis is saying, and I think that nationally, at least here in Ohio, right now is the time to be brave.
Yes.
So you may have an answer, you may not have an answer. Approach it with humility, but when you witness a racial conflict, there's steps to, like, if we're going to become anti-racist, and we'll talk about this here shortly. I believe that racism exists. I believe that we're all racist. I believe that each and every one of us are racist. You have the choice to become anti-racist. On that spectrum, step 1 is, what is racism? Step 2 is, well, I'm not racist. Step 3 is, racism sucks. Step 4 is, I feel disgusted about this racism. Well, there's another step that's called action and intervention. And so when you are in a situation to where you think this appears, sounds, and is expressing, manifesting itself as racism, and I don't know if we're all prepared to do it right now today, because we got to keep reading more and learning and getting some tools in our toolkit. But there is a time that if we're no longer going to be racist, we've got to become anti-racist. We'll have to get to some intervention. So if I have an environment to where 4-year-old black boys are being bullied because of skin color, we've got to find a way to intervene. Step 1 is, that's not racist. Step 2 is, I'm not racist. And then again, as we progress, we've got to figure out what type of interventions can I do if I'm going to be not just I'm not racist, but to shift to anti-racist, we've got to get a little bit more action. So when we talk about chants of the N-word and nigger at Carrollton, or God forbid that's happened here in Knox County, the coach decided, I'm going to intervene. We're not going to finish this last minute. We're shutting the show down. We're leaving, because there's some things that are more important than finishing a basketball game. So there were a number of people that heard that chant.
Referees.
But some people say, well, it's not racist. Some people say, well, I'm not saying, so it's really okay.
It wasn't everybody.
But until we get to a certain level of becoming anti-racist, either your action of I'm saying the N-word, or the inaction of allowing this to continue, that still classifies as racist. There's really a lot of gray in our world. Not if we're going to close this gap. It's either racist or anti-racist. You'll have to pick one.